Back here with a look at Fartcoin, and you can see last time we were here, we were down in this zone. We were looking for a price to hit up in this box and either break through and head to higher prices or get rejected and roll over. Alright, so we have hit the box and it looks like a possible ABC coming in here. Alright, we'll look at some measurements here, some price targets, and see where this could be headed. What I do want to show you here, the total 3 market cap. Now, I did not see this, but another a big trader out there did. Have a cup and handle pattern forming here. Right, you got your cup forming here, and you got your handle forming here. All right, so looking good on the total 3. That is the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is all your altcoins, your Fartcoin, Doge, everything except Bitcoin and ETH. So that is looking very good. One thing I am concerned with, it's one thing I was looking at here. I can count out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You got 5 waves there, or is this thing doing, the bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? That would make more sense to me, but we'll see what happens here, right? We do have a support line here, and for a cup and handle, going to want to see a break, of this area up through here at 1.1 trillion. Now a lot of people going to break the handle here, which I guess that's how, as far as I know, I don't trade cup and handles very much, but you can see a resistance line coming down. You got one here coming down through on the weekly, which would be a good idea to keep an eye on that. That breaks, that would be a very good sign, this thing starting back to the upside. And on a weekly, I can see that pretty clearly here. Let's mark this off right here. Alright, we're in a pretty good area where you definitely want to see a turnaround coming. Make that a little bit smaller. Alright, so what I see going on here possibly is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you're going to want to see a turnaround real soon, right? The weekly RSI, that's good to see. That thing is turning back to the upside, all right? And your monthly looks fantastic. Let's see what the daily is looking like here. That daily is just about dead even, right? I mean, it's right there. But definitely going to want to see a bounce soon out of this. For sure. Alright, you don't want to see it come down. You got a trend line there too. On the daily here, I can see it right here, coming up through here. And it's dangerously close to hitting that. Okay, so definitely want to see a bounce here very, very soon out of the total 3. It's getting to them areas where maybe this could come down a little bit more before this trend line might go up a little bit like that. So I guess it could come down a little bit more. But you're going to want to see a bounce here very, very soon, for sure, right? I mean, get this thing heading back to the upside where it belongs. On the weekly, let's see where we're at as far as the 50. We're above the 50 here. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah, we're still above it on the monthly too. All right, so that is definitely good to see. Still pretty far above it there. Definitely going to want to see a bounce, though, very, very soon on this, for sure. Back to Fartcoin. Looking like an ABC pattern. We go up the high over here. Close this right about there. Alright, you do have closing candles up here. Let's take a look. If this does a full ABC, you'd be looking at a pullback down. Potentially down here if it does the whole pattern. Down around 60 cents. I mean, we're up, what, $1.12 right now. It's a pretty big ABC. You know, if it finishes it out and it does the whole thing, let's remeasure it just to make sure. Let's get this off up here so I can see what I'm dealing with. All right, we got the top. Get this one here, 100% correct. Yeah, all right, we got a close there. Pull it down on top. Yeah, right at 60 cents. Put a price label down here. In a box. We're going to take a look at a couple other things here also, you know. Looking at a box somewhere right around in here. Would be a pretty good drop, right? Let's take a look. You know, if it would start here and head back to the upside, doesn't mean it's going to do this ABC, all right? Until it takes out that low, okay? If it takes out, you know, A, B, you know, if it takes out this A wave low, then you're definitely getting the whole thing. And this A came down to right about there, right about 86.5 cents. If it comes down and takes that low out, yeah, it's going to finish it, right, for sure. I'm going to put a line across here, right there. Okay, so we're going to want to hold that, or I can see it doing this whole thing. Now if we come off, put a fib on the bottom here and come up here, it's going to bounce. You're going to want to see it happening real soon, and we are getting a pretty nice reaction right around this 618. You got the daily RSI trying to turn back up, and that's good to see, right? You definitely want to see that. You got your weekly trying to turn back up, right? That is trying to make a swing back up here, and that would, you know, it would make sense that it holds here. Okay, let me show you why. To me, it would. This thing's going to do what I think it's going to do. You would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, that's how we got up that $2.10 area. And that's where that price comes from. And that's if we, you know, as long as we hold this low here, and this thing works back up. If not, it would still be legit, but it would come back right back into your wave 1 area here. Okay, so you're going to want to see it hold down here. Let's get this off there. Now we got that weekly turning back up. Like I said, the daily is trying to turn back up. You got your 12-hour. 12-hour looks good, just about at the bottom here. We have an ABC in here, maybe. That's what's going on here. Let's take a measurement and look. Yeah, moving off this top here. And I came back, you know, quite honestly, I'm just looking for a pop here pretty soon out of this, I would imagine. Like I said, this low here, you're going to want to see it hold that, or it's going to do this whole ABC. Another area I'd like to see it hold, where are we at here on the daily? Yeah, on that weekly. Yeah, that's where we've seen that, this top of wave 2 down here. Okay, let's mark that also. So you go through your charts like this and start marking stuff out. That's a good way to, you know, keep track of stuff. You're like, why is that line down there? Don't make them too messy, you know, but definitely mark stuff out. You know, why do I have this here? Well, if it takes this low out, then it's coming down here. It's got to do the whole ABC. So I know it needs to hold this low to avoid coming down here, right? If you want to learn this stuff, sign up for a level 3 membership. You get 10 hours of videos, over 20 videos to teach how to start charting like this. And you get a link to come trade with us on Discord, right? Leverage trading. We got this alt season hopefully coming. This cup and handle pattern here forming. The monthly RSI heading up on the total 3. Looking for a break here and a run, you know. We're waiting for an alt season, and Bitcoin dominance is definitely getting weaker as the days go by. I mean, I looked at this thing yesterday, put a couple of videos on it. Oops, sorry about that. It's not crossing the line yet. But I see what it's doing. It's bouncing on the bottom here on the 1 hour. And it must have came up and hit my line somehow. Somewhere through here. This line here. Okay. But anyway, yeah, this total 3. You know, you're going to want to see this take off pretty soon too. We're getting into some pretty detrimental areas, right? That we want to hold for this whole market cap, everything going on here. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. You know, on the daily time frame, let's look at the 12 hour. 12 hours just about reset. You got your 8 down at the bottom. It looks like a bounce is more than likely coming here pretty soon. The 4 hour is totally reset. And, you know, if this thing's going to bounce, pretty much, you know, now's the time, right? I mean, it is definitely in that area. Right through here, you're going to want to see it. You know, where it's at now, down through here. You know, don't want to lose this 786, that dollar. Want to see that hold. Because then you lose the dollar, then it comes down to 85, you lose that. You would lose the 200 moving average here, and it would just start getting ugly. You know, pull down to 60 cents. That I just don't see that happening right now. All right, looking for a bounce here pretty soon. And if this thing, if we get the bounce and this thing starts heading back to the upside, that would be a very, very good sign here. And that's what we're looking for, right? We have a nice draw up here. The 1 hour must be heading up. 1 hour is about at the top, but look, it's not even close to oversold yet. It's only at a 39 down here. There's a lot of room to go yet. And that 4 hour, I think that's the one that's really going to take off here. Right, so keep your eye on Fartcoin. I don't think it has much more downside left here before this thing starts to bounce. I'd be watching for a bounce, you know, fairly soon out of this thing. All right, so keep your eye on it. What's this? I'm gonna melt my face off. My portfolio. Where is he? He's a good dude. We got some good people in Discord, guys. If you're like I said, if you're interested, it's only $15. And spend the $15 and try it out. Especially with an alt season, man. This is the time we make our money in crypto. Is when the alt seasons come. Right? That's the time that you get these big moves. That's the, you know, this thing heads up to 210, just to give you an idea, right? It heads up there. What is that? That's a 90% move. All right, on a 10x, you're looking at 9x in your money. On a 20x, you're going to 18x your money. That's how that, you know, you can make some serious money in this industry, right? I mean, if you throw a grand on this, and when it starts turning back up, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. But if it does that, turn 1,000 into 18,000, 18 grand, 17,000 profit in a month. That's not too bad, right? I mean, definitely not too shabby, right? If it gets back up into them areas, that's back into retracement areas. I take it. Yep, right back up towards right through 702. Maybe up into your retracement areas, $1.76 to $1.98. Up in that zone. Right. So keep an eye on Fartcoin anyway. Looks like this thing should be bouncing soon. All right. If it comes down here and takes out a dollar, start getting a little nervous, right? Takes out 80, 85, 86 cents, and you're coming down to 60. And then I would expect a pretty serious bounce after that. But I don't think you're going to lose that area. I think it's going to start here pretty soon. If you're charting this thing, put a come in here and put a resistance line, especially on a 4 hour. Just go like this. Take your trend line, click it right on top of this, and then pull it down here and on top of this next one down here. All right, that trend line breaks, then you know it's changing. You got to change in you know, direction here in this thing heading back up. You know, break of that area, you'd be looking around $1.25, $1.26. You start breaking them, and then you have a push back to the upside here. Where could it go? Well, you could be looking $1.83, $1.84, right up in that range. We get the break here first. This is what you're going to want to keep an eye on, and block it and put an alert on it. But just like that. And that way you know when price hits this line, you'll get an alert that'll go off, and you'll know, oh boy, I better check on Fartcoin, right? So keep an eye on this stuff, guys. It's not looking bad at all. Total 3 looks really good. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.